I'm Andre Huey of SKN Newsline, and I'm coming to you from Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm attending the Investigating Corruption in the Caribbean Media Workshop organized by the Media Institute of the Caribbean in collaboration with, or rather supported by USAID in collaboration with the International Center for Journalists. Well, this workshop was attended by several journalists from around the Caribbean. Several journalists were chosen by MIC, the Media Institute of the Caribbean, to be part of this training workshop. And the idea, of course, is to train journalists on investigative reporting on corruption in the Caribbean. It was a 3-day workshop. Started on Thursday, October 27th, and ran into Saturday, October 29th. Various topics were covered by various trainers and facilitators, persons who are experienced journalists in some instances, and specialists in various fields such as anti-money laundering and finance. We looked at various topics. On the first day, for example, we looked at understanding money laundering, and this was conducted by Miss Michelle Martin. She is compliance anti-money laundering expert, and also she's a certified anti-money laundering and financial crimes prevention professional, and has done several workshops right around the world. We've also looked at terrorism financing and human trafficking, which was also conducted by Ms. Martin, how to spot corruption, cybercrime, and the journalists had an opportunity to discuss story ideas that would look at the issue of corruption. We also had several sessions on Friday and Saturday where we've looked at freedom of information, how to write freedom of information requests. I know in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have freedom of information legislation that was passed in 2018, but has not been fully functional, and which of course the government is looking at implementing. But we did get some insights from Ms. Dion Jackson Miller, a journalist and attorney from Jamaica, who is specialized in that area. We also looked at digital security for journalists, because journalists also are in the business of should be in the business of protecting their content, protecting their research and information, because that can also be under threat to cyber attacks. And so digital security was one of the things that we learned here at the workshop. And there were several other topics: ethical and legal considerations in telling a story, how to verify and organize a story, budgeting for your story, presentation of findings from assignments, and how to spot corruption, and several other areas which I won't get into for this report. What we will do, though, however, we'll share you just a bit of the opening ceremony which took place on Thursday, where the president of the Media Institute of the Caribbean, Kiran Maharaj, addressed briefly the journalists at the workshop.
We could not have done this project, our first in person after almost 3 years, without the support of USAID. The rep could not be here this morning, but USAID and MIC started a discussion 4 years ago. When I checked the dates on the email, it was 4 years ago. And so they have been doing a program in Latin America called ProSafe, and it is administered by ICFJ. I want to thank ICFJ for ensuring that we got the program off the ground and that we get to where we want to go. We will be working with them over the next 10 months. So part of this program is, while you all have the training over this 3-day period, there is going to be a follow-up where you will submit your story ideas and storyboards to MIC. And we are going to select some of them to move forward. You will be entitled to a small grant, and a mentor will be assigned to you. And those stories will go up on the CIJN.org website.
It is the expectation that when this workshop ends, that journalists would go back to their respective countries and jurisdictions and report on stories of corruption, coming up with a project that will be funded through the ICFJ, the International Center for Journalists, and of course supported by USAID. And these stories will be published on the Caribbean Investigative Journalism Network website, CIJN, and that story, of course, can be made available to various media houses across the Caribbean, and they can also publish that, of course, giving credit to CIJN. So, coming to you from Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago for SKN Newsline, I'm Andre Huey.